it all started when I was watching YouTube, right? And I saw a shorts video, and it was a video of someone taking a video of one of Jordan Peterson's talks. And Jordan Peterson said in the video, in my whole time practicing as a clinical psychologist, I've never seen someone able to get away with bending reality. And, obviously what he then explained was lying. He would see clients, he would see all different types of people, and they would come in and say, oh, this thing's happening in my life, or this, and the more they spoke about it, it went back to something they did a long time ago that led to that bad situation. And I don't know how I got to this, but white lies, for example, that's bending reality. Little lies here and there that is convenient. As Fleetwood Mac says, tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. What else is sweet? Sugar's sweet. But it destroys you the more you have it. The more you eat sugar, the more you're destroyed by the consumption of it. So and there's a certain feeling inside, a bandwidth that's taken up from managing that lie. So I went through a bit of a process recently, and I saw that video, and I'm like, where am I being dishonest? And I don't mean dishonest in a complete upfront black and white lie. I mean, half truth, half lie, half this, quarter lie, whatever. And I went to my best friend and also my ex, I guess you could say, and I confessed all the lies I can remember that I told her. I sat down with her and I said, hey, I just want to become completely transparent with you. And I said to her all the lies that I told her, all the things that I did that were untruthful, and continue to try and do that. And even now when I try not to lie, it's like it's automatic in a way. So I have to stop myself and consciously do it. And here's the thing, right? Just to protect myself for a second, when I'm saying a lie, I'm not talking about, writing fraud on my tax and saying there's more than there is. I'm talking about, making yourself seem better than what you are, even slightly. Or, conveniently saying something else to avoid a hard conversation. Little things like just wording things a certain way, or saying something's happening when it's not happening, little things like that. So, all in all, you can't bend reality. And so the lies you tell other people, this is for everyone listening, the lies you tell other people are the lies you tell yourself. And every lie you tell someone else, you think you're helping yourself, but you're turning reality against you. You're turning time against you. And the more you tell the truth, the more you uncover parts of yourself that you previously avoided. So the moral of the story, don't lie.
I love that. I love that. And when you were speaking, like the word that kept jumping out at me was integrity, 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 integrity. And like you can restore integrity, like you with your ex. You've restored integrity with that. You've actually repaired whatever that karmic timeline is there. Like, you know what? There was something that was in all that, And then after you had that conversation, like how did you feel? Like what changed for you after you spoke to that?
What changed for me was I didn't have to hide anymore. Like going back to what you said about saying certain things, or like trying to say certain ways of saying things, or whatever it might have been. I think I said that actually. Anyways, doesn't matter. But there's a heaviness that comes to it and comes with it, I should say. Lying doesn't actually lead to anything but pain in the end. And it's like it's just offsetting future problems with the burden of having to do it in the future anyway. So I felt relieved. And there's still some stuff that I have to say, and I will say, especially after this conversation. But it's a cleanness.
Yeah.
And I went through a job interview process recently for a part-time job whilst I'm doing all the stuff that I'm doing. And typically in the past, I think most people do this, but let's just be raw and honest. Like I would exaggerate skills and assets or exaggerate parts of my achievements to win the interview or win the person over, and it would work. It would always work. And in this process, I was as transparent as I could possibly be. And it was a relieving feeling to know that it was a far better feeling than getting a job and thinking, did I get this job because of the things I said I was or because of who I am? So it's integrity, and the integrity feels clean. It's high fidelity. It's like eating a nice meal. It tastes a nice healthy meal. It tastes not the best sometimes if you're not a good cook, like leafy greens perhaps. But the next morning after you've had a sleep, it tastes amazing. Whereas Macca's tastes nice at the time, but after that it tastes disgusting.
Yeah, I love that. I love all of that. Yeah, like lying is junk food. Like it's Timmy's Tim Tams, It's like
It's bloody
Timmy, mate. Timmy. He's gonna Timmy. But I love that, bro. And I hear that, like the overselling of self, like, 'cause I do that too. Like and it's been walking this line of like, well, how do I actually own my worth? And how do I compete in the world of like coaches and therapists and other leaders? Like, how do I sell myself? And do I need to sell myself? Can I just be? Like, can I just put myself out there? Like, what can? Because selling myself gets so exhausting. But then also like not really having a grounded sense of self. Like coming from a background where only academia was I could make a living from. So like my parents have conversations about, John, go to university, do your masters, get an MBA, get all that stuff. That's the only way you can make a living. So for me, creating my own business has been like, well, my family support isn't really there. Like they don't. It's not like. So in my worth as a person, like I need to get more qualifications. So developing worth from like my testimonials and like people tell me, John, you're actually pretty good at what you do, and they're like being, oh, am I though? But am I though? So I hear that overselling, and then like when I do that, I feel like such a fraud. Like when I get the job or get whatever it is, it's like I feel like I'm an imposter. What am I doing here? And yeah, like and when you were speaking, I was like, bro, what do you think the world would be like if everyone was just brutally honest?
Dude, it'd be the version of utopia that everyone talks about, except without some temporary pain of hardship of, oh, I'm so offended, but then it'd be perfectly fine and everything would appear to be in order.
Yeah.
I just wonder why humans don't do that. Why don't we do that?
That's a great question.
Why do we, I get it, right? So what's the antithesis of a lie though? Where does it start from? And what part of human nature needs it?
No. You want to keep going. Like I was just like, yeah. I think it's fear. Just different iterations of fear. So, fear of being kicked out of the tribe, fear of failure, fear of being less than. I see a lot of it's just primal, like a primal component of not being accepted or not being loved. Like why would we need to talk? Why would we? Where does it come from? Like an economy. It's come from an economy of being able to be of value. So if you're not of value, then you're no use to the tribe. So how do you create value for yourself? You either talk yourself up, or you get a lot of abilities, or you become irreplaceable. But when there's a point of when there's the market is saturated, then you really need to make a point of difference to make yourself identify yourself as valuable. So I think people are just afraid of being worthless, and then there's fear that comes from that. Like, I'm not useful. Like, what am I even doing here? Yeah.
I wonder then, the unique commodity is realness. And the ironic thing is that if you are who you are and you show up as you are, then how can anyone compete with you? How can anyone contend with someone that's uncontendable? It's not possible, right? And that's why the question of why do we do this as humans is even more puzzling for me. You know, I'd like to understand that more and more. You know, I think there is a few books out there that talk about the psychology of lying and what the rewards are. And, you know, but here's the thing, right? It's so culturally accepted as well that a white lie is actually something commendable. You know, you tell someone that you casually lied to someone to avoid a pain they couldn't handle, then you're commended for it. Oh, that was the right thing to do, you know? And I think there's a big difference between white lies and being tactful and honest at the same time. You know what I think it is? I think I just figured it out, John. I think it's, so there's a law of least resistance in human nature, right? In that law of least resistance, the key outcome is to avoid effort and avoid expenditure of energy. It is far more convenient and far more easier to lie than to tell the truth, because it requires more energy.
The truth requires effort. The truth requires, yeah, right. And yeah, interesting when you mention that, like when I'm thinking like the moments when I've lied, it's either like get away from a conversation or like I don't want to deal with this right now. Instead of just owning like the what so, like I need to tell you something. I don't want to have to deal with the aftermath, so I'm just going to tell you and just walk away. Like I don't want to have this conversation right now. Or whatever it is, like I think you're full of crap. I think what you just said was rubbish, and just walk away. And like I don't have to deal with unpacking it. Why? It's like that's it. I've said it. I'm walking. Mic drop. Bomb. Done.
Well, to add to that quickly, you know, you said before, and I have to think of this for a moment. You said people use something, a lie, right, in this example, to hide from self-esteem issues. Now, let me rephrase it. Let me unpack that for a second, right? So when you're traumatized as a child or as a kid, you go through a process of making a story up in your mind to protect yourself from the truth of possibly that you're not good enough. And you lie to yourself and tell yourself that you are not the thing that you think you are, and that protects you. Right? And yeah, so it's this, so it's, and to extend that to what you also said as well, which is awesome, we're hiding from ego death. So the question might be instead, why are we running away from an ego death? And if we never lied to ourselves, if we never had trauma, would we lie anyway? Because if we see the positive results of I can lie to myself and tell myself that I'm X and I can feel better for it, you know, like, oh, my mum just rejected me, you know, that's because all women are bad, you know, all women are bad, or this or that. It's far more convenient to believe a lie than it is to believe the truth. But if you believe the truth, it's far more convenient for your life long term. So it's just short-term thinking.